Hi, my name is Barry Sterling Mitchell. I produce the Sterling Net Point Power Rankings and the Bias Plus reports. Today is August 21st, 2024, and this is Ben and Barry on football.
Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? This is your co-host, Ben Dickerson. Week 2 of the preseason is in the books. We got one more preseason game to go before we get ready to start up this regular season of NFL football.
We're going to take a quick look back at last week, see if you have any comments on that. Kind of like a warm-up to when we start the schedule, you know what I mean? And we do the net point rankings and what you did last week. And, oh, by the way, what you're going to do coming up, you know? But we know that this is the preseason and it has its attractions and distractions. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I have my intriguing question for you. I mentioned it last week, but we'll actually try to get it out there this week. Not a great week for news as far as I'm concerned, even just listening to the talking heads on media. I mean, they were more interested in playing games and, you know, guess who or guess what type things because they really didn't have any content. And it was so funny because Jamie literally there was a guy who sent in a tweet suggesting a bit for the show. And
You're talking about Good Morning Football?
Yeah. And she was like, look, additional producers, we appreciate you. We got a 4-hour show here to do, so any content you can help us with.
They got to do better than that.
Hey, it ain't a whole bunch popping. You know, what can I tell you? You know, and strangely enough, they had 2 people in LA and 2 people in New York. So whereas the show was supposed to have been West Coast, you know, for whatever reason, you know, that's how it was actually popping with Schrager. And who else was it? Kyle Brandt in New York. And Jamie and Akbar. I have to remember his name now. I'm starting to like him a little bit more now, you know. Twins is cool. It was fun.
Raja Biamila.
There you go. Every time I say Akbar, you have permission to say it again. So, and on our last video, I did send out an apology to him for absolutely, you know, destroying.
It's not easy.
Say what now?
I said, yeah, it's not easy.
Hey, look, you know, but it is a testament to the international impact of on football, you know, and he's been around for a long time. So, you know, it's not like it's just starting. It's been growing. All right, Betty. So let's just take a quick stroll back to week 2, the second week, rather, I should say, of the preseason, and see if you have any comments on that. So we'll start with the Eagles and the Patriots. Eagles wound up winning 14-13, close game. We saw Drake May, Tanner McKee, Quinyon Mitchell was out there for a little bit, and Kenny Pickett as a quarterback for the Eagles. And I'll be quite honest with you, Kenny, the fake slot guy, Wicked Pickett, backup quarterback for the Eagles. I still find that somewhat strange. I don't know. It just seems weird that that's who they went and got. A guy very unlike their starter, I would say. I've never seen Jalen Hurts fake slide. Have you?
No.
But
I have seen Kenny Pickett run.
Okay. So what did you have?
That's a propensity to run. He's not Lamar Jackson, but he can move.
Yeah, but when he did the fake slide, he was taking off. He was out. That's the truth. Patriots have a bit of a quarterback battle, eh? You think?
Well, here's the funny thing, and again, let me remind everybody, I know I don't have to remind you, I really don't like preseason games. Seldom am I able to sit and watch a complete preseason game. However, this year, because we had such a strong quarterback draft, I decided that I would focus on some of these first round quarterbacks that got picked up that are either going to be starting right away from day one or are in competitions. So that's what I looked at the most. Although I was watching Quinyon Mitchell because, I had him picked in my mock draft pretty high. I don't
Right.
think I had him with the Eagles. I had him with somebody else. But anyway, I digress. So Drake May, since you mentioned him, here's a guy who early on pretty much we were being told he was going to be put on the shelf. They were going to start Jacoby Brissett. He was the veteran. They don't have a lot of talent on this team, obviously, especially on the offensive side. They're going to let Jacoby Brissett kind of slog through the season here and try to slowly but surely get Drake May ready because for some reason they didn't feel like he was NFL ready right off the bat. Like, let's just say, for instance, like a Caleb Williams. He didn't do much in the first game, the first preseason game. They didn't give him much time. But this time they decided to extend his minutes. And this guy actually played the second quarter and most of the third quarter of this game. And lo and behold, he goes 6 of 11 for 47. He runs 4 times for 15 yards, and he runs in a touchdown. And he led another drive that ended in a field goal. He wasn't great, but he showed a lot more than he did in week one. Now, all of a sudden, it's a competition. All
Well,
of a sudden,
Brissett didn't look good at all.
he did not help himself.
That's what I'm saying.
And
I'm
here's the
looking
thing.
at
Here's the
these
thing.
guys, man.
Here's the thing. Brissett not looking good, and May showing way more than he did in the first game, which wasn't hard because the first game I think he had one series. They didn't give him much to do. Kind of makes the balance lean toward Drake May. What I stress that people do not forget, regardless of what this ends up being, as far as who the starting quarterback for the Patriots is going to be, ain't no live bullets flying yet. And the only person in that camp that faced live bullets is Jacoby Brissett. So I'll just leave that like that. But I will say, Drake May went from he's coming along slowly but surely to he's really pushing to start the season in 7 days' time.
Interesting that you decided to follow those first round quarterbacks, as they take the step into the NFL, because this is kind of in the backdrop of a Tom Brady interview. I don't know if you saw this interview.
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Well, I actually watched him as he talked about it, and he was saying that, well, I'm going to mess this up a little bit, but in college, there's like a college program and a college team, and sometimes, and there's a certain amount of development there, right?
Right.
And then he said, you come into the NFL, and he says, so many of these young guys are having to start right away. And as a result, in order for that to happen, the NFL is dumbing down the football that they're being given.
That's right.
And that's right. You agree with that?
If they decide that a first year player is going to be the starter, once they assess what they feel like he can handle, yeah, they're not going to give him the whole playbook.
Now, but Tom Brady is saying like this is a travesty. This is like that's what he's saying. Like, oh no, they're dumbing down the game. And the interesting thing is I heard just the opposite about especially a lot of these quarterbacks who are playing all 4 years, and they've got taken a lot of snaps, that these guys are pretty much NFL ready, and I believe
that makes sense.
So that kind of flies in the face of what, quote, Tom Brady is saying, which will make it interesting when he starts to make his comments as a commentator for Fox. But long story short, I just wanted to mention that as a backdrop to what you're going to say about these quarterbacks that you had a chance to see. Let's take a quick look here, Benny, at let's see, the next game was the Ravens and the Falcons. So here, Josh Johnson, Emory Jones, Taylor Heineke, John Paddock, Michael Penix Jr. did not play. And again, one of those close games, 13-12. But they don't have one of those quarterbacks that you were focused on. So did you have a chance, or did you get any flavor from this particular game?
Well, I kind of heard that Penix wasn't going to play, so I wasn't super interested in that game. Any other quarterbacks that play in that game are pretty much just lining up to see who's going to back up Kirk Cousins. Let's face it, they went out and got Kirk Cousins for a reason. This isn't a situation where a rookie comes in and they go, oh, well, he's going to play behind Kirk, and then he does well in the preseason. They go, oh, I don't know. We might have to. No, that's not going to happen here. That's not going to happen here. Kirk Cousins is the guy, and that's all there is to it. They're pretty much just giving everybody else a chance to get some reps and some game action. That's all.
All right, all right. The Houston Texans and your New York Football Giants. Benny, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, all got a little something off. Daniel Jones. I'm losing. I already wasn't a big believer in Daniel, but
Nobody is.
But I had. What's going on there?
Okay. Nobody likes Daniel Jones. I don't even think his teammates like the poor guy. But the bottom line is the man hasn't basically thrown a pass in a year and a half in a game. Then he throws a couple of interceptions and everybody's like benching. Benching for who? Drew Lock? Okay. That's what you want to do. But guess what? Better let me see a little bit more Drew Lock before you make that decision. All right. This guy's coming off of an injury. He did have one really good season where he showed the potential to be a good NFL quarterback. And if everybody thinks that that's all he's got, I mean, maybe they're right. I don't know. I wish I did. And I wish I felt stronger about it, but I don't, because it's real ugly right now. But he's the guy. They done spent the money already. There's no use crying over spilled milk. He's got a number one receiver as a rookie who showed his ass that game, made some really nice catches, showed off some tremendous athletic ability. This guy is in Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase range. I'm telling you that right now.
Who's this guy?
Might not see it. Excuse me?
Who's this guy?
What do you mean, who's this guy? Malik Neighbors.
I just want you to say his name, not just this guy, because you were big on him coming to the draft. All right, Benny. So next up, the game that we're going to look at from week 2 of the preseason is the Los Angeles Rams over the Los Angeles Chargers, 13-9. Sean McVay got it done. He said this weekend will allow assistant coach Aubrey Pleasant to lead the team, and Pleasant delivered, steering the Rams to a 13-9 victory. So Sean McVay is grooming. He's grooming. He wants his own tree or something. What's going on over there? But Harbaugh let it get by. And did you see any of this one?
So what this shows is how comfortable Sean McVay is with where the Rams are right now, a couple weeks away from the regular season beginning. He's comfortable enough to step away from the sidelines, and I assume he was up in the booth observing the team without him being the actual leader on the sidelines, delegating authority to different people to see how they work together without him being there. That's a very comfortable looking position for the Rams to be in. And I will tell you this, as soon as I saw this, it translated right away. I turned my head and I looked over at the television, and there were some predictions as to who would be the division winners And we usually do. I usually do a piece as we get closer to the season about how I think the season's going to go at the end, who are going to be the division winners, who are going to be the wild cards, and try to work through the playoffs ahead of time. There are people out there that are picking the Rams to win the NFC West.
Yeah, our boy Hurd, Colin Hurd is picking the Rams to win the division.
Yep.
We'll talk a little bit more about my team also win that division. However, beside that, anything?
Nah, I mean, Justin Herbert is obviously the starting quarterback there. He's coming off a little plantar fasciitis. Um, he was able to practice this week. It's looking pretty good for him right now. He's comfortable. He's able to move around, but we know that I know that that's a problem that can hang around and linger for quite some time. And it only takes the right, take off running and make a cut or whatever, and boom, it's right back again. So that's something that we're going to have to monitor through the season, going forward to see if he can stay healthy. I don't know who the backup is, excuse me, for the Chargers, but he better stay on his toes.
Well, the backup is for the Chargers. I'm going to take a quick look here because I think that's an interesting question. Can't report. Why Justin Herbert looked magical in Wednesday's practice?
Practice,
Looked magical
practice,
in
practice.
practice.
We talking about practice.
We talking about practice.
Talking about practice. Not a game. Not a game.
Not a game.
Practice.
Easton Stick,
Oh no.
Max Duggan, and hey Benny, the fourth man in, Luis Perez. Little UFL action.
I tell you what, I don't know if Luis Perez has gotten any looks in the preseason so far. I'd have to go back, take a look at their preseason games because I really haven't paid much attention to the Chargers. But he's probably the most NFL ready, having been through several UFL seasons and playing well in several UFL seasons.
Are you saying he's more
Stick.
NFL ready than Easton Stick?
Easton Stick crapped the bed last year when he had his chance.
Garbage.
Man. Easton Stick. Yo.
This is what I'm saying. Oh my God. Okay.
Easton Stick. Come on, man.
Wait. Did I mention? Hold on. Who's the other guy? Was it Tyson Badgett?
Come on, man.
No, I'm sorry. Max Duggan.
Max Duggan.
Max
Bro,
Duggan.
I'm going with Perez. I'm going with Perez. I seen Perez play in big time games. They weren't NFL games. They were UFL games, but they were big time UFL games. And he handled himself nicely.
All right, let's go to the next game. We're talking about Jacksonville Jaguars 20, Tampa Bay Bucks 7, and 1. Mac Jones coming in, backing up this is the Jaguars, right? Backing up the Jags as they defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Filling in for Trevor Lawrence, he completed 16 of 23 passes, connecting for touchdowns. With Parker Washington and Brevin Easton ran the ball 6 times, forcing 2 missed tackles and picking up a first down. Mac Jones showing up. Now, you said the most NFL-ready backups are the best. Well, you got one here, don't you think?
Well, no, I said the most NFL ready rookie quarterbacks. are the best rookie quarterbacks.
Okay, are the best rookie quarterbacks.
Right. The best backups are guys that have had notable amounts of time as being starters for whatever reason.
Oh, he rings that bell.
Well, yeah, but I don't know that he actually showed out when he had the opportunity. But I tell you what, you could do a lot worse than Matt Jones. It's mac and cheese, man. It's mac and cheese. Okay. I understand having a guy like him to back up Trevor Lawrence. It makes sense. Trevor Lawrence is way better, but as far as physical attributes are concerned, I would say they're fairly close. So, you know, and it's funny. So Matt Jones has only played for one team other than the Jaguars, and that is the Patriots, right? And he played under Belichick. Okay. He's now playing for Doug Peterson. Complete opposites, as far as I'm concerned, in the way that they coach. There's a possibility that he brings something out of Mac Jones and makes him a competent backup. Hopefully for the Jaguars, they'll never have to find out because Trevor Lawrence will stay healthy, but we'll have to wait and see.
We'll have to wait and see there. That's for sure. All right. Dallas against the Raiders, and Dallas came up big. Now, Dallas, hey, look, Raiders got Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, okay? And of course, we know that the Cowboys have Rush, right? Is that his name?
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. And I even got a chance to see my young boy Trey Lance a little bit. Anything on this one?
Well, anytime you want to talk about the Cowboys, there's nothing really worth talking about unless you're going to talk about when the heck they're going to sign CD Lamb and get this thing over with. You know, I have no doubt. It's so bad that on the talk shows, they're talking about Jerry Jones is actually prolonging this on purpose. Just so people will start every show with the Dallas Cowboys coming out of their mouth. That's part of the reason why the brand is so big, because he keeps them in the news. There's no doubt, zero doubt in my mind that before the season starts, they will sign CD Lamb to a massive multi-year contract. Why they're slow rolling it like this, the only reason I can think of is Jerry Jones is just drawing out the drama because that's the kind of guy that he is. I really don't think, to tell you the truth, in order for him to do this, do what I'm saying, he cannot possibly, without colluding with CD Lamb's agent, be doing this in good faith. I don't know what to say about a guy like that. I'm not rich. I don't own an NFL team, nor have I ever come even close to owning anything like an NFL team. So I don't know, but I'm telling you, this dude is a weirdo, man. What he's going through, putting CD Lamb through right now, doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
It doesn't make any sense, especially on as far as just having him integrate into the team, that synchronizing that, thing that
Right.
he done.
He's hurting the player and he's hurting the team.
So, I did see Trey Lance. It's funny. So many of the things I saw in Trey Lance are still there. Strong arm, still somewhat mobile, having time to grow into an offense, mature into the NFL a little bit. I think it's actually being somewhat positive for him. And having Cooper Rush there, he's one of the backups that I do have respect for. I think Cooper Rush does a hell of a job when he gets an opportunity. And I don't know if he's going to push Dak or if he could push Dak out, and if the Cowboys had that much belief in him. But I do know
Never.
he's very competitive when he gets an opportunity to play. So I like that about
Okay. That'll never
him.
happen.
That'll never, yeah, well,
That'll never happen. So basically, we'll just say that you don't consider him trash.
right. Well, that's true. I don't.
Okay. Well, let's leave it at that.
Denver Broncos 27, Green Bay Packers 2.
Oh, sugarty.
Ooh,
First
man.
of all, I love the Packers this year, but obviously they're kind of in the same camp with the Rams. They're feeling real comfortable about where they are right now. Um, did Jordan Love play at all? I don't think so.
Don't think so. Don't think so. But it's all about Bo Nix. What can I tell you?
It's all about Bo Nix. So again, here's a guy who had his head coach pretty much come out early on and say, listen, I like Jared Stidham. I like what Jared Stidham did when we had to bench Russell Wilson. So I'm going to let Jared Stidham start the season off and bring Bo Nix along. Then, after the first preseason game, it turned into, oh, we now have a competition for the starting quarterback job. Then progressed to week number 2 of the preseason, and the quarterback competition is now over. Just like that. Sean Payton named Bo Nix as the Broncos starter. Week 1 of the regular season, Bo Nix will be out there starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Against the Packers, he looked even more comfortable than he did in the first week of the preseason. He led the team on 2 scoring drives. One of those drives ended in a field goal. The other one was a 90-yard drive that he finished off with a touchdown pass. I think he threw it to Tim Patrick. Overall, he was 8 of 9, 80 yards, no turnovers. He looked comfortable in the pocket. He made some good pre-snap reads. Again, let's not read too much into that because he's looking at vanilla defenses. But he did make good pre-snap reads. And he threw the ball extremely well in the pocket and on the move. So Bo Nix looks like he has earned himself a job as a starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos.
Congratulations, Bo Nix. Yeah, he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good. All right, Benny, let's wrap this up with my beloved 49ers squeaking one out over the New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr came out in the beginning, moved him downfield, boom, 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 boom. Brock Purdy
Ooh,
looked like trash.
ooh.
Brock Purdy was doing very un-Brock Purdy-like things, but he was out there with the backups. So you had a starting quarterback with a lot of backups, out there, and I don't think that was, smart.
Yeah, it wasn't conducive for him to do well. Not at all.
However, the concept of quarterback competition popped into my head as I watched Joshua Dobbs
Oh, here we
run
go.
the offense. If Purdy's not careful,
You're killing me right now.
if
Okay.
Purdy's not careful, now of course he doesn't have his left tackle, and like I said, he was out there with the other people. But I'm hearing that he was not having a really great camp. He was having some meltdowns in camp. Things weren't going right and things of that nature. So I don't know. We shall see. I'm a big Brock Purdy fan, but I got to read it as I'm seeing it. And I thought Joshua Dobbs played really well. What do you think?
All right, I'm gonna tell you this. You better hope and pray that Brock Purdy gets it together. Whatever it is that's bothering him, be it the lineup, be it Brandon Ayuk missing, be it his left tackle missing, whatever it is, they better get it right, and they better get it right really quick.
Yeah, like within a week.
Because if you have to depend on Joshua Dobbs, And I am a big Joshua Dobbs fan. What he did last year for two different teams, although it was kind of short-lived and it ended kind of raggedy, this guy really showed off, man. He earned whatever money he was making as a backup. And he's probably making a little bit more now with the Niners. And there's a reason why they're keeping him. Believe me, they would have kept Sam Darnold if they could have, but he's the next best thing as far as backups concerned. But there's no way he's going to take you. This is why people are predicting that the Rams may win the division, because people still don't believe in Brock Purdy. I do. I believe in Brock Purdy. I think he's going to come out of whatever funk he's in and get himself together, and everything's going to be just fine. But it better hurry up and happen.
Well, I think the thing that is intriguing me here is the possible mind meld of Joshua Dobbs and Coach Shanahan. I don't think he's ever had a coach like Shanahan, and he's ever been somewhere long enough that he could be really integrated into an offense. So, and
That's what makes him so good.
yeah.
He learns offenses very quickly. Whatever system he goes into, he gets right on it.
So give him a coach like Shanahan, and I think it could raise his game. But I'm with you. It's Brock's team.
Right.
Brock's got to go out there and get it done. Whatever
Right.
it was about him that made his, as they say, shaky start look shaky. And like I said, he did very un-Brock Purdy type things, like running left and turning back and throwing right into the middle of the field and stuff like that. And it's like, Brock, you okay? You know what I mean?
Right.
They got married, and sometimes, that new life throws a wrinkle in your head, but come on, man, you can't be doing that. So,
That could be part of it. There's a lot of things. Now, I sent you a text. It says, I'm going to read it to you. It says, "Good morning. I'm going to predict that IU gets signed
oh,
by
yes.
the Niners before this week is out."
Okay. I saw
That's what it
that.
says. That is my prediction. Today is Wednesday. So before the week is out, meaning before next Monday coming, Ayuk will be signed. That's my prediction.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I saw that.
Let's see if that holds true.
I saw that. I saw that. All right. Well, that wrapped up week 2. We're going to go into week 3. Just want to do something quickly because our time is getting a little on the long side. Bear with me a moment. All right, Benny. So we're going to go straight to the NFL page, straight to the horse's mouth, and just take a quick look at week 3, because we talked about, the different strategies and tactics that are going to be deployed come week 3 for these different teams and who they're going to play, who they're not going to play. First off, we got 2 games on Thursday, August 22nd. We have the Colts against the Bengals. And then again, you have the Bears coming in that evening against the Chiefs. Anything intriguing about any of those as far as you're concerned?
Not really. I think the Colts have kind of already let it be known that they're not going to play their starters in this game. I doubt that Caleb Williams will play in the third game. They'll probably go with the backups mostly.
Sounds about right to me there. And then now next up they have a few Friday games. Jaguars, Falcons, Dolphins, Buccaneers, and my Niners against the Raiders.
No need to play starters against the Raiders, so you can forget about that.
Say that again?
I said no need to play your starters against the Raiders. That's not going to get you anywhere.
That's not true.
I can barely see that. Bucks are playing Dolphins.
Yeah, the Bucks are playing the Dolphins and the Falcons are playing the Jaguars.
Who's playing the Jaguars?
Falcons.
Nah, well, Kirk Cousins isn't going to play. There's a good chance Penix may play, but they didn't play him in the second game. So I'm thinking they're really thinking about leaning on him to be the backup. So they may not play him in that game either. Um, I don't think you're going to see a lot of action for a lot of starters. Only certain teams. Who do the Steelers play?
Are they going to play their third string?
No. Oh my God, they play the Lions. So here's the deal. The Lions are going to be at home. I don't know what their situation is as far as young defensive players that they have to look at or whatever. But the Steelers are in a position right now where they're going to pretty much either have to decide during this week of practice who their starter is going to be, hold him out and let the other guy play, or divide divide the number one snaps between Fields and Russell Wilson and do the same thing in the game against the Lions. Maybe give each one of them a half. If I was them, if I was Mike Tomlin, I would start Russell Wilson, and then after the half, I would give the ball to Justin Fields and may the best man win. That's not really fair to Fields because he probably won't have any starters to lean on. But they kind of already made their bed as far as, giving Russell Wilson the benefit of the doubt to be the starter. So, I don't think he'll shy away from the competition. I think he'll do the best that he can. Fields, I'm talking about. Or they can decide who starts the game with the number ones according to how they both do in the practice. If he splits the snaps in practice this week with the number ones between Wilson and Fields, he can kind of decide who he wants to start in that game. Because the guy that starts the game is going to start with the most starters, if not the entire starting offense. So he's going to have to decide pretty much who his starting quarterback is going to be before the game. If he decides who the starting quarterback is going to be before the end of or before the game starts, you will start that guy in the game, give the other guy the second half, and let the chips fall where they may. The bottom line is for the Steelers, if their offensive line doesn't play better, then you got to go with Fields because Russ doesn't stand a chance back there.
Ravens, Packers, anything?
Nah, Packers are set. Raiders made up their mind that Minshew's going to start. So O'Connell will probably start that third game, get as many reps in as he can, make himself
Did I
as
say Raiders or Ravens?
I thought you said Raiders. Is it Ravens?
It's Ravens. I'm sorry.
Okay, Ravens are set. You'll see nothing but backups for the Ravens.
Okay. All right. So it's all backups here, no quarterbacks and no
Yeah,
rookies.
this last game will be the worst of the bunch.
LA Rams, Texans.
Rams are set, Texans are set. You're not going to see much there.
Vikings, Eagles. It's going to be all fake slide guy.
There's a good chance. Yeah, there's a good chance Pickett will play and play a lot. And that other kid, what's his name? He's got a good Trevor or something.
Okay. If you say so.
Trace. He played well in game two. He's actually pushing Pickett for backup. So, yeah, they'll probably split the snaps in that game, and Pickett better get himself together because that kid looked pretty good, actually.
Okay. Okay. Chargers, Cowboys.
Nothing to see here.
Trey Lance. Giants, Jets, all New York.
Nothing to see here.
Browns
You
Seahawks.
got to throw Daniel Jones back out there for at least a series or two to give him a chance to redeem himself from last week.
Daniel Jones, I'm telling you. We said Browns Seahawks, Titans Saints. Malik,
Yeah, Malik will probably get most of the snaps there.
Cardinals Broncos.
That's a lot of backups. Now that they decided on Bo Nix, he won't start. He won't play.
Won't see any Bo Nix. And lastly, Sunday night, 8 o'clock. Patriots Commanders.
They'll probably hold Jaden Daniels out. Patriots will probably go. If I'm the Patriots, I go with Drake May. I start him. I give him maybe the first quarter. Because they're questioning themselves right now.
They should.
Yeah, about the Jacoby Brissett thing.
Yeah.
They are really questioning themselves right now.
Man, look. I can't, I'm really anxious. I've been so busy. I'm really anxious to finish up the backup quarterback thing, but I didn't know who the backup until they start to name who the backups are. You know what I mean? So, okay, that's crazy. We only have a few minutes left, Benny. I had the question. I'm going to throw it at you and let you pontificate a little bit, and then we're out of here. And that is the statement. Used to be, and it was credited to John Madden, if you got two quarterbacks, you have none. Nowadays, my statement is if you don't have two quarterbacks, you have none. When I look across the spectrum of teams, I see a lot of teams without two quarterbacks. I've been trashing a lot of the backups. There are some good ones. What do you think about that statement?
Well, we talk about this quite often, to tell you the truth. So you should know how I feel about this. Number one, teams are not going to go out of their way to get a starter quality player to be a backup. Number one, it's hard to do because starter quality quarterbacks know that they're starter quality quarterbacks and don't want to be backups. Number two, if they've already had starting opportunities, they probably cost too much. And three, nobody even wants to pretend that their starting quarterback's going to get hurt, even though it's the NFL and they know it's going to happen. So that's just the way it is, man. That's just the way it is. If you luck up and you get a quarterback who was a solid, at least somewhat solid starter, and for whatever reason fell on hard times, and you're able to get him as a backup, you're lucky. But we're talking about two or three guys. Sam Darnold being one of them, and he has now ascended to a starter, which he was supposed to be a starter anyway. Nobody expected J.J. McCarthy to look as good as he did in that first preseason game. But he's hurt anyway, so it doesn't matter. Gardner Minshew looked like he was going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars starting quarterback for years to come until they got Trevor Lawrence. But he's a starter quality quarterback.
So when you add it up, if you don't have two quarterbacks, and like you said, somebody's going to get hurt.
Well, when you say you don't have two,
yeah, I say you have none. I'm talking Super Bowl quality. You got to assume that your starter is at least a Super Bowl quality quarterback for the most part.
when you say Super Bowl quality, you're taking it too far. First of all, at the beginning of the season, every team, if you ask them, thinks they have an opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl. But if you really look at it, name me right now, a week or two before the beginning of the season, how many teams you think have a legitimate chance to possibly make it to the Super Bowl?
Well, we know just from the Sterling Net Point rankings, it usually comes to maybe 8 at best, your top 8. Because a lot of times it's number 7 or 8 that actually wins the Super Bowl in terms of the net point rankings.
Okay.
So but that's kind of my point. It's funny, we kind of disagree, but the numbers actually kind of point to a level of agreements here. So, but I just want to get your take on it, and I understand what you're saying about they're not going to do it. But, what it adds up to is that you're only going to have a handful of teams that really have a shot anyway, and
Yeah,
then
but
they
it
don't
still
have a
doesn't
backup
guarantee anything.
quarterback, then, it really, for example, the Chiefs have been very fortunate that Mahomes has been healthy. He's there for the playoffs,
Right.
that
Don't
is,
even know who his backup is, dude.
I've seen him. I know who it is. I don't remember it though. But
You can count probably on one hand how many teams since the Super Bowl started. Was that 50 something years? How many teams had to go to their backup and have their backup take them to the Super Bowl?
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Foles, Hostetler, the Miami Dolphins did it. I
That's it.
Okay, so that's not, you got to look at the context in which they were talking, in which Madden or Parcells has said it too. What the context of what they said was, as far as if you have two quarterbacks, you have none. What they meant was, if you have two quarterbacks and you can't make up your mind who's your guy, that you have sabotaged your team.
Well,
That's that's
I think on that point
that's
we
the way I
both
see it.
agree. We both agree, and before time runs out on this, I just wanted to mention that we do agree right there. That's one point, that if the coaches can't make up their mind, that's a problem, and you're not going anywhere. All right, Benny. Asking everyone to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. We're at www.benandbarryonfootball.com. Join us next week as we review week 3 in the preseason and begin the net point power rankings and the bias plus reports for the regular season NFL 2024.
Later, y'all.
Peace.